We're Horse to Band with Last.fm in London. A very long time ago, we were writing our new brand of fun music, synth heavy, and as a whimsical joke, we thought we'd call it Nintendocore. And I had written a song about a kid I grew up with who ended up being a little bastard, and it became a kind of a metaphor and reference to him. And then we called it Cutsman because, you know, the keyboard.
So you're saying that you wrote the chorus that says cut, 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 and the part about the scissors on his head before we even thought of the name Cutsman?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
It was an idea that became another idea.
I know.
That became a song. You cock. No, it's cool. I mean, it sucks when everybody just is like, oh, this song about your mom getting beaten is what the game is this about? You know, it's like we're fucking very serious most of the time, at least about our music and art. But when it's only a reference to like the idea of blending the digital music of the games and things we grew up on with all the other music we love. It was just a fun idea at the time, but everybody took it 100 yards too far. I think early on we really wanted to be a heavy band and fit into the hardcore scene, but when they completely rejected us wholeheartedly, we developed our own island and we eventually became comfortable on it. And a lot of people think we're really angry and full of rage, but when you spend 10 years having people mock you and make fun of you for doing something you love, you eventually gonna fight back a little.
I think we just wanted to go places that weren't boring, because like we were touring the US and we had been to every venue at that point, or a lot of venues, like for the 4th or 5th time. We were just like sitting in the same green rooms and like our horrible tags were on the walls and we were embarrassed and like we're like, oh, we broke that chair last year, like whatever, and then
the legs off that table.
Yeah, we were just really bored, and it was like that professional touring circuit, and we used to just sleep in people's houses or on floors and stuff, and it was either horribly bad so we'd remember it forever, or it was actually really fun. But it wasn't just like going to a hotel every night and getting to the venue at 2 in the afternoon and being yelled at by some guy. So I think we just wanted to recreate that, but like in a new places.
Well, you clearly haven't watched the movie, or you would know our thoughts on Accomplishment.
It's a 10-hour deep watch, but I actually felt better about life after watching it than living it. It's pretty profound.
It's weird.
That did something to us.
Reconfiguring life into art can give you a new perspective on what you've been through.
Very first show of our very first tour, we played at our old singer's house who quit just before the tour, and we played at his cousin's 13th birthday at a pool for a bunch of kids who'd never heard music like us at all.
They were all like 12.
Or they were sitting in the jacuzzi while we were playing, like 4 12-year-old girls.
And the cousin wasn't even there, he stayed at home. But the other story I was going to say was we were playing China. We didn't have any built-in fans, so we got all the like post-work business crowd. There was just this army of Chinese businessmen in suits that would stand in front of each member one by one and go, and like do like not even guitar solos, just kind of like give it to me, like, but they'd move in unison, like they knew what they were doing. It was, you can have it. Then our old bass player did like a flip onto his neck and hurt himself. It was awesome.
At some point, you just realize that you like go up and you're like a circus or something. Like your whole point is to sell enough items to like make it so you can survive by performing your little performance to the people there. And then in light of that, it seems like you haven't accomplished anything except repeated the same thing over and over and had to change your physical location to like find new people to do it for. So that and like drag all this stuff around with you and be like, want this clothes? It's $10. And like they're like, yeah, I want it, and they give you $10 and you're like, I get 2 of that. Wait, but we have to pay for what it costs to make it. And you're like, I get 1 of that. And then you're like, cool, we sold 10 shirts tonight. That's $10. And you know, whatever. And then you're like, fuck, I'm in a band, but this is what I'm thinking about. And so yeah, you don't really feel like you accomplished everything, but then you go home and you meet some fucker at your job and they're like, oh yeah, like I'm going to France this summer and I spent a week in Paris, and you're just like... No, I just like to think about like when they're on top, that in about 2.5 years, their CD sales are gonna start to go down, and then people will stop coming to their shows, and then you give it like 5 years, and you probably won't even remember that you knew about them, and then like 7 years out, you'll be like, what happened to so-and-so? And then you're like, I haven't even heard about them for like 2 years, and then that's the moment that I like to think about. Dude, and then like they're probably bringing in at their highest like $5,000 a week, and you watch them buy the clothes with it, and then you think about that 7-year period when suddenly they have no money and they're like 28, and they've never had a job, and they have no skills, and they can just play breakdowns like on their bass, and then you're like, that's the moment.